This is my granddad and his best friend Jesse. He was my mum's dad. And this is me. I was his little princess. He was always telling me stories and joking. He told me that he swam the Atlantic Ocean, but I never really used to believe him. Then Grandad got ill, very ill. We were all very sad, especially when he went into St Columbas Hospice. But Mum said that was the best and safest place for him to get looked after.
You hear a lot about palliative care at St Columbas Hospice, and that's very much what we practice. Palliative care now is about helping relieve difficult and distressing symptoms, pain or sickness or breathlessness. At this stage now, we might not be able to do anything about the cause of the pain, but to say now we want to make the patient feel a little bit more comfortable. We might not be able to get rid of the pain completely, but I hope we'll be able to help them cope with that pain a little bit better. And the same goes for their family too. I hope that in here, perhaps after the first few days, or possibly even the first few hours, they feel safe here. And that's the aim, is that they can trust all this team of new faces that they see. They know that help is available. And I hope they have the feeling that we won't let them down.
Grandad joked with everybody. Even though he was very sick, he still had to laugh with the nurses.
People do live much longer now with their advanced or terminal illness. It used to be, people were diagnosed with their cancer and died very soon, up to 2 to 5 years. Now people live for a long, long time, and they have recurrences, and they often come in and out of here for specialist care to help them, with their symptoms, their nausea, their sickness, their illness, their pain, and then they go home again, and then they're back and forward and back and forward. We get to know them very, very well, and that includes their family, even their pets. We get to know all of them very well.
We treat each individual as an individual and try and meet those individual needs. A patient might come in, might be terminally ill and might want to go to the daughter's wedding. We'll do everything in our power to try and make that happen.
It's part of the philosophy that the care is not only for the person who's dying, but it's for the people who are left.
Dying is a normal process, and we just try and make that happier. We try and make it memorable.
It is a privilege because people let you into their lives at the very end of their lives, where they're often actually withdrawing from others. They allow you to come in.
The day hospice is like a day centre where people who are still living at home come in either 1 or 2 days a week. There are people who have advanced disease which is progressive, and we give them support, a lot of psychological and emotional support, and also monitor symptoms and try and maintain their quality of life really for as long as possible. You develop an understanding of what it's like for people who are facing death or trying to live with a terminal illness, and to be able to support people through that difficult time, to be there for people. I find that very satisfying. I think it's a very important part of nursing and important part of medicine, that people aren't abandoned at that stage in their lives. I think it's very important that people are cared for right up until their death.
Once I visited Grandad and he had been doing his exercises. I thought it was a bit unfair, but he said that it made him feel better.
The main thing is to try and make people able to do as much as they can with what their body allows them to do. So if you can manage to make it possible for someone to do a very simple task that we take for granted in our everyday lives, that can make a big difference to them. We have more time to spend with our patients here than in other units, and I think that's what makes it worthwhile.
When Mum got home, she used to cry a lot. But she told me that all the nurses and doctors were looking after Grandad and making him feel comfortable.
What I do here is different to an occupational therapist's role elsewhere. So I'm looking at helping people with activities that they want to do at the end of their life. And when people are dying, it changes. Once their symptoms are under control, they stop thinking about things like dressing themselves and how they're going to manage in that way when they're at home. And they start to think about what they've done with their life and how are people going to remember them, what accomplishments have they made. And it's really important for people to be able to focus on that and to look at these things and feel that they have done them. And then that tends to lead on to them having a better quality of life until they die.
I'm one of the nurse lecturers who work in the education department. We very much look at developing people's clinical skills, and all the education we do is very much grounded in specialist practice. The degree's been running for quite a long time, probably about 5 or 6 years now, and some of those people have actually taken lead posts in leading palliative care, which is really exciting. And now we've got the opportunity to do that at master's level now.
The hospice is the place where people go when they're not going to get better. But I still enjoyed visiting Grandad there, because the nurses always remembered our name.